Bitcoin Miami is in the rearview mirror, but the echoes of what happened there are still lingering in the air. With that in mind, Mike Hobart's piece, written for Simply Bitcoin Substack, is quite a timely article. Let's take a look. This piece, titled Bitcoin Deserves Better From You, is all about how you should be conducting yourself out in the world. It doesn't really matter what you like, what you disagree with, who you're friends with, who you don't like. What you project into the world and all the ways that you interact with the world are going to be a reflection of who you are, what you represent, and what you believe. People are going to be walking away from interactions with you thinking one of maybe three things. A, I like that person, I want to have another chat with them. B, I'm neutral, couldn't really care one way or another. And C, I can't stand that person, I don't like anything that they said, and I never want to see them again. Ideally, you're leaving them thinking, number one, that they want to interact with you more. You leave them curious. You want to have further discussions with them, and they want to have further discussion with you. I understand that that won't be the case with every single person you meet on the planet. That just isn't realistic. But what you should definitely aim for is to avoid number three. You don't want people disliking you and ignoring everything that you have to say. If the first thing that somebody thinks when they see you is, I'm going to ignore everything that comes out of his or her mouth, then you should be doing something a little bit differently. This article that I'm going to get into here talks about how everything that we do is political. Politics, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is the art or science of government. B, the art or science concerned with guiding or influencing governmental policy. Politics is the competition of ideas and ideals, people clashing for their way of life to be the dominant one, the most widely accepted one. We have this playing out in the United States of America every 4 years, with the Republicans and the Democrats getting up on stage and debating, or not as the case may be, to see who will be in charge of the country for the next 4 years. Starts out by saying, I don't like politics, I'm apolitical. Yeah, right. The problem here is that people seem to think that the game of politics stops at the governmental body level. It does not. Everything that we do is political. When you go to a store, you're voting with your wallet. You're voting with your time, your energy. You went to a job, you put in hours to earn some sort of currency, then you came home, you saved that amount, you paid your rent, you went to a store, and you purchased some items. You're telling that store that you appreciate what they do. You like what they do. Now, you might not actually like what they do, but yet you're there purchasing items from them. Every dollar that you spend in that store is a vote that you like what they're doing. And if you don't like what they're doing, you might want to consider changing stores. Mike goes on to say, there is no avoiding politics. Apolitical is political. Leadership is political. Conducting business is political. Coordinating family Christmas is political. Dating is political. Getting that promotion at work is political. Coaching is political. Investing is political. Bitcoin is political. You might wonder, how is Bitcoin political? If you take your fiat and then exchange it, I don't say buying Bitcoin anymore. If you take your fiat and exchange it for Bitcoin, you're opting out of one system and into another. That is a political move. You're saying, I don't like this particular set of ideas, and I do like this set of ideas. And that in and of itself is a political action in the definition of the word politics. You are voting for this type of government as opposed to that type of government. One is the Orange Party, as Nico and Opti like to say, and that is the Green Party. The Green Party is a hungry, envious, greedy monster that knows no bounds. And the Orange Party is the party of sunlight and goodness and wholesomeness. Think of vibrant fields that are growing and flourishing under a bright orange sun. You can be disinterested in politics, that's your choice. But what that means is that you will ultimately be dominated by those who actively engage in it. Think of it like this. Everybody in the world is playing a game. You are too. But if you don't recognize the rules of the game, or that a game is even being played, then the people playing the game are going to play you. But until you can find a way to build a spaceship or buy a ticket to Elon Musk's latest endeavor, you're stuck here. You are stuck in this game. But how you play is determined by which rule set you want to adopt. Mike goes on to say that what you do matters, and if you're not careful, things might be used against you. Slip-ups by one side of an armed conflict can provide material that can be used as propaganda to support the mission and narrative of the opposition. In a world of social media and smartphones, and where cameras are readily accessible and available everywhere, any misstep mistake, or failure can be broadcast to the world in seconds. We've all seen the videos online where somebody gets in some sort of a disagreement, oftentimes at a grocery store. They're arguing about this or calling out that, and then the next thing that you know, fists are flying and food's falling from the shelves and crash, bang, boom, it's up online, and now you're the face of ridicule. People are laughing at you, people are saying, what an idiot, what a moron, what a fool. I've never been the subject of one of those videos, and I'm willing to bet neither have you. Most people are not the subject of those videos, because most people, when they get into some altercation, do what they can to diffuse the situation. They say, hey, my mistake, I didn't mean that, sorry I got in your way, whatever, hey, have a nice day, and they walk away. But some people just can't help themselves. They turn a situation that could have been avoided and a nothing into something that is online and watched by millions of people the world over. Don't let that be you. And especially don't let that be you if you're wearing something like this. It would not look good if you're in a store trying to get some stuff. Maybe you're in line for Black Friday. And honestly, if you're a true Bitcoiner, you should be utterly appalled by the idea of Black Friday. But if you're in a store and you go to reach for something and somebody else comes in and grabs it, just let them take it. You don't want to be the person that's on TV wearing a Represent LTD Bitcoin hat and they go, oh yeah, that dirty Bitcoiner XYZ123, and the next thing that you know, you're slapping somebody. Not a good look. This is not just a monetary war. This is a political war. This is a public relations war. This is a war that is urban, rural, digital, physical, psychological, emotional, and philosophical. This is a war over the hearts and minds of American ideals. What does it mean to be American? I imagine most people have their own special definition, but to me, it means freedom. Carry yourself. When you go out and engage in discussions over any matter, movies, food, whatever, understand that you represent the mission. You're acting like a child, having emotional outbursts, losing your temper. These all negatively impact the mission that you claim to uphold. You erode the strength of your own position by lacking the discipline and self-control to conduct yourself admirably. Every participant of an organization is representative of their faction. Mike goes on to say, this is why more Bitcoiners need to adopt the way of the warrior in the garden. I was unfamiliar with that term, but apparently it means it's better to be a warrior in a garden, quote, is that it is much better to learn how to prepare yourself physically and mentally when you're currently in a calm and easygoing situation. When's the best time to train your mind and your body for a potential situation in the future where you would need your mind and body trained? It's in those calm times, the pauses between the storms. I don't know if there's a storm a week out with the whole debt ceiling crisis looming on the horizon, or if there's something a year out with a new presidential election happening, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, or even in our lifetimes. But it's much better to be prepared for a situation and it never happened than have the situation happen and you're not prepared. Force is only expressed when and where it is necessary. Defending liberty never stops. You should be free to live your life in whatever manner you see fit, so long as you are not negatively impacting the life or quality of life of those around you or in your charge. My closing thought is this: consider how you're being out in the world, because the world is considering you.